Big changes in the business of agriculture, it looks like. You know, we went through a lot of consolidations over the last several years, but there's more. And one interesting one way up north, the northern part of the United States, that is. Stand by. I want to talk about that on the Steckline Report here in just a minute.
Every father would like to have their son farm with them and grandson and continue to farm. It's kind of a legacy, I guess. And then my dad was a farmer, and then, of course, then I am and my son. So actually, Jackson, you know, would be the fifth generation from my grandfather. You know, it's going to be key for us to have American Ag Credit. It's a long-term partnership with them is what it is.
CHS Incorporated, friends, is the largest U.S. farming cooperative in America. And guess what they've done? They've agreed to form a venture with fertilizer producer CF Industries. CF Industries is a big outfit that's been in the business for a good long time. But what's interesting about this big cooperative, CHS, that's in North Dakota, they were planning a factory there to produce fertilizers. They scrapped it. CHS says they'll acquire a stake in a CF subsidiary for about $2.8 billion. That's several pickup loads of dollar bills, isn't it, friends? In any event, that supposedly will guarantee an annual supply of as much as 1.7 million tons of nitrogen-based fertilizer that they need in that part of the country. The two companies says that separately, it won't proceed with its proposed Spirit Wood plant. That is, CHS will not, saying the cost and other factors, including water, were major decisions that they made concerning not building that plant. So here we go, water, another issue, and guess what? I think it's just the tip of the iceberg is what water will be in the future. Top priority for people to save. The U.S. nitrogen fertilizer industry is going through a period, by the way, of all kinds of upheaval. Cheap natural gas, a raw material that's used in the production, is causing some havoc. Deerfield, Illinois-based CF agreed to buy assets from OCI NV of the Netherlands. That was a $5.4 billion deal in cash and shares to create the world's largest publicly traded producer of nitrogen crop nutrients. So we're getting our fertilizer now in less and less hands. That's a little bit scary for me as a guy that buys it. For CF, the deal with CHS should alleviate any antitrust concerns surrounding the transaction, they say. The tie-up announced is tantamount to creating another live competitor in the market space, just as though CHS had acquired a plant from somebody else. Well, you can believe all that you want to. CHS is owned by farmers, supposedly, and supplies food, crop nutrients, and animal feed. The Inver Grove Heights, Minnesota-based company also operates petroleum refineries and pipelines. It's a big organization. Those farmers have put together quite a deal. Oh, speaking of quite a deal, Cargill, big old meat company, isn't it, friends? Guess what they're doing? They're moving to fish. For the first time, the world is eating more fish from farms than from the open sea, spurring billions of dollars of takeovers as one of the largest food companies wants to cash in on that demand. Cargill, that's the latest buyer. It's the world's biggest grain trader and meat supplier, says now it's agreed to acquire Norwegian salmon feed business, EWOS, for $1.5 billion. They don't do anything in millions anymore. It's always billions. Isn't that amazing? Well, there isn't any doubt about it. Fish consumption is growing at a faster pace than beef, pork, and poultry. Well, one of the things about beef, though, we're eating everything that we produce. So when supplies increase here in the next couple of years, it's going to be interesting to see if all this continues to hold true. But this is interesting to see that one of our leading agricultural companies, not one of the leading, the biggest, is going from meat and grain to fish in a big way. Tells us what's happening, doesn't it? See you on the next Steckline.